Mini power kuna abano. You safe. Oh, pension is where you move. Approach it. No. Approach it. Na buhungo krafo ye juma krafo.
Yo, blessings people. So yeah, I did a recent video which I felt, you know what, it came with mixed reactions from people, because some people, especially Ghanaians in the diaspora, felt, you know what, they are ever entitled to make that decision to want to live abroad. That's their choice. And other people, straight enough, were, you know, very, very keen to say, oh, everybody who is made it back in Ghana is involved in some kind of corruption. They were really convinced everybody, you know, everybody who is made it in Ghana has been involved in some kind of corruption. I don't think that is ever the truth, but what I found it very interesting was the strength, the courage, you know, the energy that people take, to defend people or to actually criticize people who have made it back in the motherland, and to say that, you know what, if you ever able to make it in the motherland, then you have had to be involved in some kind of, you know what, corruption, scandal and everything. I don't hold a view, and I definitely had to want to, you know, clarify that. But for today, boom, people 60 years and above living in the West, my people, what are you still doing here? Yeah, 60 years and over, what are you still doing here? And you know, that is something that I have to be told, you know, oh yeah, people have got the right to make choices. That is true. But let me possibly clarify it. If you are 60 years and above and still on your 2 feet, still running after buses, on your 2 feet, you know, doing the very hard grafting job, yo, people, the human body is not kind of a body that will exist forever. We have a breaking point. So at what point would you want to go home? You know, at what point do you want to, you know, relax and enjoy whatever you've been able to achieve till this far? You've lived in the West for all those years, which people refer to you as the old Boggers. Yeah, when you go home, you are referred to as uncle, auntie. People refer to you as the old Boggers. 60 years and above, what are you still doing? If you have got some kind of a job, you know, you've got your own business running, that's okay. But where you are actually still running after the bus, still catching the train and doing that kind of, you know, very hard grafting job. Yo, people, waking up very donkey o'clocks to be able to go and get work done. My people, do we not think it's about time we need to, you know, ask ourselves that can we do something different back home? Because the reality is, if you have lived in the West 20 years, 30 years, and you've still not been able to get the money that you want to retire with, when do you think you're ever gonna get the money? Remember, you are older now. By the time you go home, your back is aching. The strength is no more there. So 60 years and above, tell me, you out there, by the time you turn 60, where would you want to be? Somebody will say, it's my choice, I want to retire in this country. I respect that. But for me, I'm asking the question, do you not think, or do people not think, if you were back home running your own business at 60, you were likely at least to have some kind of, you know, difference in terms of reverence from the community, from the younger ones? People will say, and I have to respect that, it is people's choices. And I think that's exactly what we have to agree, you know, in this series. But all that it means is for me to be able to prompt you to say that if you've lived in the West for 20 years, 30 years, and at 60, you are still looking for that money that you came to the West to look for, to the US, to UK, Canada, Spain, wherever it is, Italy, Germany. Yo, people, at 60, which money are you looking for? I think in my view, let me know whether you agree with me or not, but in my view, if you've got to 60 and you've still not found that capital that you actually migrated to come and look for, then maybe I would say it's too late. It's too late. You know, that is my view. Because by the time you go home, bear in mind, yo, in my culture, if you are a man, you know, somebody will call you, you know, wafa, uncle. Wafa means, you know, uncle, auntie, you know, that is where people give you a little bit of reverence before the 70 year, you know, you get to 70 and, you know, we say goodbye to you. But by 70, by 60, if you are still working, yo, when do you plan on retiring? Because the hard truth is, in the UK, you know, pension age is being pushed close to 70. And if you're actually going to be working 60 plus, where is the strength? Where is the strength? If you have got to do any kind of hard grafting job, I actually saw a video today of an older person who, you know,
and Madame for taking me many years. Of course, and as I see, I will be some say, come back and make a pension. Come back and make a pension. And I make catch and say, so no, I'm letting from come a pension come as soon 66 years. As soon, and I mean, feel I'm a teacher, no. In Fianson, just some say, you are 7 years. Women you must smoke at me. Taking you or see any pedway. Telling me, no, I to say, your food, did now your phone, no, your ma, if you are any anywhere, Purmana, a cum beam. Anna in the pedrian suit. In the pedria, so ya Juma now, Bram, I can say, a sharp canny loss near the copper gate Neshmia, Honamano, in Pedriano, a Timia Jumani Beam. To say, and I can ask buying a mother parky baby. What do you give you? A prince of Bangkok.
Let's speak the truth. When our older ones were coming, you know, some of them. Okay, we can't say everything here, but some of them may be 17, and by the time they get, some of them may be 30, and by the time they get here, they are 20. For whatever reason, you wouldn't understand unless you are part of the culture. But all that it means is, yo, by the time they turn 60, yo, in actual fact, they are 70. You won't understand. So at that point, if you are still working, when do you plan on retiring? If the retirement age is 70, and you actually had a football age, which is 10 years older, then it means if you retire at 70, then you are 80. Yo, my people, let's not make this West, living in the West thing, make us lose our dignity, living that kind of a, you know, a quality life. It's not about houses, it's not about properties, it's not about, you know, what you possess. People are actually still living in the West because when they go back home, I think that will be another video that I will be doing as to the reason why some people are stuck. Because somebody just sent to me in terms of the text to say that, Nana, in as much as we may want to go back home, sometimes it's because the family, the community have got some kind of expectations from us. And if we haven't got that, yo, there is some kind of pressure, shame. I can't go and live, you know, in somebody's spare space if I've not been able to build a house.
Lumba kayo, wasemi yaka kontu. Yekwa nkonso yabama. Abrochire. Misisi bi num take it kura etwa ko Ghana kura. Sika etwa ko Ghana kura. Oti abrochire num so oti abrochire. Sika kura bi etwa take it ni obeye shopping kakra kura. No ni bi. Abrochire.
And I think we'll be talking about people building in the motherland whilst they're living, or they maybe, let me use a word very carefully, squatting in some kind of space, you know, in the West, all in the name of I've been able to build, you know, my dream house, whilst they don't actually live there. People, in this series, we'll be talking about our experience as a people, as a community, and for me, specifically, my Ghanaian community. What do you think we can do differently? And whilst other people definitely don't agree with me, because, you know, it's their choice, and I respect that. because in their view, everybody living in the motherland who has made it has got themselves involved with some kind of corruption. I don't think that's the case, because if we transfer that same energy to the West, it's not everybody who lives here who will be living or who will be doing things legally. But people believe if you are in the West, everything is in your space. But you know, let's be very honest. When you see the older person who is actually going to jump on the bus, gone were the days where, you know, younger ones will stand up and give reverence to the older ones. In the West, it's not like that. People will say everybody's got rights. So if you choose to still be going on the bus at 60 and over, my people, you will be standing with other young people, with other people. They will be doing their own stuff in the bus. Yet when you go back home, you are wafa, you are uncle, you are giving, you know, that reverence. The community looks up to you. And for me, my question is, do we not think we can plan things differently? Or is it because we didn't think about this exit plan? Because whether we like it or not, we are growing by the day. I've got gray hair, you know, all over the space, and yeah, I will be dyeing that very soon. So if you are looking for a good hair dye, I will put the link, you know, in the description section, because I have done that and I've seen it work. So maybe I left this on so that you can see this in my next video. So come back, you know, and see how things have been different. But whilst you do that, why don't you subscribe, share this video with somebody, so that, you know, if you've got an uncle, an auntie who is 60 plus, living in the West, living in the US, in the UK, Canada, Spain, Belgium, Germany, are we not able to, you know, give them the opportunity to realize that, you know what, why don't you come home? Some will say to you, oh, I just, you know, I have to stay in the West, I have to stay wherever I am for medical reasons. Yo, we've got 60 plus and over back home who are living good life. And the worst case is, yo, if you choose to go back home and you deem to be unwell, can you not come back and get yourself checked up? Somebody will say maybe you haven't got the documentation, or the person may not have the documentation to come back, so that's the reason why they cannot leave. But at 60, if you haven't got the documentation, yo, talk to me. Yeah, we have to do an appeal for fund for such a person, because if you are 60 and still running things, you know, underground, I think it's just a bit too late. You deserve, you know, some kind of quality life before you move on. So as I said, if you have got an auntie or an uncle who still live in the West, still wake up in the morning to go and do their work, to go and do their jobs, people, we need to be able to have these very difficult conversations with them, so that they can come home. They can come and have a bit of rest. Somebody will say it's their choice. That's true. But on the other hand, with a little bit of capital, because by 60, we can assume, and I can definitely say that based on assumption, we can assume that they are not responsible for anybody. They are not caring for anybody. But, you know, yo, tell me your view. 60 and still in the West, do you think they still meant to be living here? Or rather, things could be different, things could be better off if they were rather back home? Share your views, share your thoughts. And for everybody who has joined us since I shared the very first video on, you know, I think my view for my friends living back home, doing better, and since then join us on the channel, I'll say thank you very much for joining us. For everybody who has thought otherwise, Nana, I disagreed with you, I don't agree, I want to stay, fair dues, that's your position. We have to respect you. And whilst we are saying we need to remember to want to think about going back home, remember, I don't hold any of your passports, and I can't come knocking on your door tomorrow to say go back home. I can't. Yeah, I don't hold your passport. It's your view, it's your decision. So if I am saying, you know what, think about going back home, or maybe I think, you know, I will be better off back home, If you disagree, you don't need to come at me. You don't need to make it look like, you know what, Nana, I disagree. I need to type a whole paragraph just for you to see that, you know what, the roads are not good, the waters are not good. Yet that is the same place where you go for holiday. That is the same place where you are doing your projects. So, with the project that you are doing by building and everything, when do you hope to go and live in it? And when you go in and live in it, what kind of water, what kind of roads will be leading you to the house? People, let's have that discussion. I know people will say, Nana, this is not the reason why I subscribe to the channel. You are being so sensitive. You are telling me things that I don't want to hear. I would rather say stay here. Let's have the discussion. I love us to be very open and honest with ourselves, because in as much as we always think, oh, there is a lot going on for us in the motherland, let's remember that is the only place that we have. And until recently, we were told, let's be careful, let's stay indoors because far right are out on a march. People, I want to live in my land, and soon I'm going to be an ambassador for Ghana. Yeah, so if this is something that you want to support me, yo, people, in the month of November, I want to attend Guba awards, and that is happening in Barbados. Please, thank you very much. I've recently had a donation from somebody to support that journey. Please, I will be leaving the GoFundMe link in the description section as well. People, go there, support me, donate with your little, I'll really appreciate it, because I definitely want to go to this event in Barbados in November. Okay, I want to go there and meet the key players, because the reality is, for me to come back home to Ghana, I need to meet my key players, because I still want to work within the industry.
Is going to Barbados. Grow, unite, build Africa. This time around, we've done London, we've done the US, we've done Rwanda, we've done Ghana, and now we are going to Barbados on the 10th to the 12th of November, where we are going to be celebrating a connection between the Caribbean and Africa. It's a 3-day event. We're talking about investment opportunities, and we are also going to be celebrating excellence. You do not want to miss out. We're also going to be doing a charter flight from Ghana to Barbados. So sign up right now. www.googleawards.com.
And tell me your experience if you have ever returned home and why you are still there. And if you have, what's been the challenges? Let me know whether you think, waiting or continuing to live abroad until you are 60 and over is the way forward. Is it a bit too late? Is this something that can be rescued? Why do we think people as old as they are, sometimes you see them in the marketplace? Sometimes, when you go to places like maybe Brixton Market, you see that they have some kind of a pull-up, they have some kind of a like a bag, which has got trolleys, which has got wheels under them. They have these bags, and that is what they use to go shopping. And sometimes when you see these people, you feel you want to help them, but all that it means is, at 60, they're pulling this by themselves. And when you speak to them, they'll tell you, we came here a long time ago. Our children are older, our children have moved out, and they are now living by themselves. And you ask yourself, who is going to cook for you? At 60, I don't want to cook for myself. Okay? You may call me lazy, you may call me whatever, but in terms of quality of life, can I not live a little, before, I trod on, before I move on? 60, you cooking for yourself, you're cleaning for yourself, pulling the bin to the front of the, come on, people, we can't do that. We can't do that forever. If you are a younger person and you travel abroad, yes, you can talk about using your strength and everything to graft. But at 60 and above, I don't think you should be doing that. People will be saying it's your choice, but come on. If you are giving the help at 60 and above, would you not take it? So if you have got the auntie, the uncle living abroad, please encourage them to come home. Okay? Because the worst thing is, with all that they've been able to do, they don't only concentrate on living wherever they are. They have had projects, they've got mansions back home. and you ask yourself, who is living in these mansions? And I said, I will be talking about people building back home. You know, whether we need to build back home, live in the West and everything. Yeah, let's talk about it in another video. But you know what, people? Please, let's start looking after our elderly. There are instances where we do hear somebody is gone missing. And it's really a worry when that person is an older, is an older black person. You know why? Because we've got a very limited network. We've got a very limited network. So the only thing that we can see is a photo of that person. If that person is, is older and they have got that network around them, we really doubt. Yes, it may happen. But when we were back home, it wasn't very common for older people to go missing. Because they had people around them, they had systems around them. They've got grandchildren, nieces, nephews, friends, the community look after them. At 60, here, you're waking up to go and do the same job that the younger ones are doing. There is no recognition based on your age. So you wake up at whatever time. You finish at whatever time. And because of pension, I can only speak for UK. Because of pension, you have to continue to push in order for you to be able to qualify for some sort of pension. So if, I continue to say, if you have got somebody living in the West and they are 60 and over, and we have the unfortunate experience where people do experience the likes of ill health, dementia and that, and best still, they are together with their wife. It's just these two people. They do their cooking. They do their own washing. Because your children are not going to be living in the same house with you. Your grandchildren are not going to be coming to live, with you. And then the next thing is, as you grow older, you'll be told, if you need additional support, then you need to sell your house in order for you to downsize. People, I don't know whether, people would say, Nana, this is your view, this is your scare, this is your panic, and that's the reason why you're thinking of going back home. But I don't think living in the West at 60 and over should be something that I would recommend. Tell me your view. Tell me whether it's something that you've thought about. And if you haven't, is it something that you will be thinking that you will be retiring in the UK, in the West, in, Canada, Australia, US? And as is as is the common or is the norm in the country, would you be going to the care home? Can you just imagine waking up in the morning? I can only speak for Ghana, yeah? As a 60-year-old and over, waking up in the morning and maybe going for house cocoa for breakfast, yeah? Come lunchtime, you've got some, little ampisi with pear and everything. You can diss me, you can insult me for all I care. I want the best for you. And that's the reason why I'm bringing these, videos to you. So if you want to diss me, subscribe and tell me, Nana, I've subscribed and that's why I want to diss you. I'll respect you. Yeah, and as I was saying, breakfast, you have some cocoa and kosi for yourself. Yeah, lunchtime, you've got some ampisi. Ampisi is yam with some, contemporary stew. Yeah, and come evening time, pim, you got some fufu on your plate. People, come on. Let's look after ourselves. We're not going to be living forever. We're not going to be living forever. And it's about time we have to ask ourselves, how long are we going to be eating this chicken and chips? How long are we going to be eating this kind of, needed fufu? Somebody will say, hey, is there? I respect people's choices. But come on, there are options out there. Yeah? So just think about it. Imagine you are living in a space, you are living in a community where somebody will see you in the morning and say, good morning. Living in the West, you can't have that. People will look at you funny. Why are you greeting? People will just pass. The bus is even not going to stop close to you for you to climb up. No, you have to walk up to the bus stop. And if it's going to take forever, tough. By the time you get there, the bus is gone. It's going to be raining. You got the snow coming. Yo, people, summertime. You're not even going to get anybody come knocking on your door. You'll be going to church, but you know what? People, let's think about our retirement. There is an opportunity for us back home. there is an opportunity for us to live some kind of dignified life back home. You go to places that you know people. You go, listen, as human beings, we, maybe as I can only say as black people, we weren't born for this system, Somebody say, Nana, speak for yourself. We weren't born for this system. This system is an individualistic system. It's you, yourself, and you. Okay? We were born with community around us. We were born with people, even the animals, okay, who live on our compound. You can't have that in the West. You can't have that. Even for you to go shopping and somebody coming to say, you know what, uncle, auntie, let me help you with your shopping. It's never gonna happen here. It's you. You are in charge. You do it. And you know what? If you can't do it, call the cab. Shop. It will be delivered to you. So by the time you realize you've stayed in your house for ages, you've never gone out. You've not even gotten a bit of sunshine. And worse still, if you have an appointment, if you've got a medical appointment, you haven't got somebody who you are familiar with. What kind of, last days you want to give to yourself? People, I will recommend for you to go back home. Go to your people. Go to the people who can, yes, people may want to be, take advantage of whatever you bring, but that's okay. Sometimes that's okay. Because you have been in the system, you will know how to manage your money and everything. But all that it means is, why are you living in a system that you continue to feel like you are an alien? Why don't you want to choose something different? Where you can go to an environment and whoever, even the language, at 60 and over, you are still listening to, different accents and trying to get used to it. The doctor will give you reverence because they know you are older. The nurse, whoever is coming to your house, some people would even come knocking on your door and say, yo, Eja, we came checking on you. Uncle, auntie, and if you are a church person, can you just imagine? They play the music, the songs that you are used to. You can sing. It helps you. It helps you. It helps you mentally. So please, people, as I said, these series are series that we need to be listening to. And I brought it up. If you think you're enjoying it, the previous video where I talked about, we telling the truth, it really did well.
Yo, are we lying to ourselves or what? Africa is where the money is.
Mobility on the bit.
This is my reality. My mates who I left in Ghana, in my view, are doing better. Some people may not agree. My mates that I left in Ghana, as in my schoolmates, my peers, my age groups and that, who are in Ghana are doing better. Within the first 24 hours, I realized it was it was 1,000. So, whoa, something is working. So if this is the kind of video, as I said, you really enjoy, let me know what you really enjoy about this. Because we need to listen, we need to grow. And let me know whether you want us to do that. But if you want to advertise on this platform, please send me, a message on all our social media platforms at Black Next Gen. If you want to collaborate, if you want to sponsor us, especially with my trip going to Barbados, people, if you want me to promote your company, your whatever, please come, let's talk. Because as I said, I'm definitely going to Barbados in November. I've had few people contribute, donate, not that much. We've only raised about £200. It's costing me about $3,000 to do that. So what do? Do I send the money back to them? It's not possible, but it means I have to, fork out the money. It's gonna be an issue, people. I need your support, okay? Because the family bank, I've been told I'm not allowed to dip my hands into it anymore. So please go into the description section and please support me to be able to go on this trip to Barbados. It's Guba Awards, it's Guba Foundation doing something amazing, bridging the gap between the diaspora and Africa, and that is the reason why we believe that African problems need African solutions. So if you want to see me there, I haven't got a choice. I have to go because of the respect that I have for my subscribers and the people who have donated. So if you want to ease my pain, please please join us on this channel. Subscribe if you haven't, like the video, but also go in the description section and donate. And best still, you can come aboard so that you can, we can advertise your product. We are more than happy, to do that. Let's celebrate one another, but the reality is I want to end with this, recommendation. If you are 60 and over as a Black African or Caribbean, please, in my view, your dignified life can be better lived when you are back home. I understand there may be different circumstances. Somebody will say, I've got nobody back home, and that's the reality. But all that it means is, if it can work for you, please take advantage of that. If not, tell me how you think a care home, you going to live in a care home will look like. Just imagine, you wake up in the morning, you take tea. You wake up in the afternoon, you'll be taking afternoon tea. And then dinner, mashed potato. Oh my days. I don't wish that for me. I think I'd rather want to go and have a bit of banku, kenke, fufu. Hear words, language that I am familiar with. People may say it's a choice, and I respect that, but let me hear your view. People will say they will stand between, living in the motherland and living in the West. That's their choice. But all that it means is let's make sure that we have a plan and not leave it to too late, because by the time we turn 60 and over, the body is giving up. You haven't got that long. And if you were a person believing in the old school Bible, you say 70 years is what you've been given. So 10 years more. 10 years is just going to come like that. So tell me, where would you want to retire? When the time comes for you to retire, what is your plan? And somebody will say, no, I don't need to share with you. But people, we are learning. Where would you want to retire? What's your exit plan? What is your retirement plan? Especially if you are 60 years and above living in the West. Are you going to be going to a care home? Are you going to be staying at your home for carers to come and check on you? Or have you thought about going back home where you can actually have a kind of support system around you? We are all not the same, and that is the reality. But can you afford it? Can you just imagine if you've got, a healthcare professional coming to visit you just an hour a day, just to put on your breakfast, your lunch, and dinner? We are not talking about them coming to give you a shower. All those things are things that we need to think about. For you to go to, places that you are used to. Let's assume you want to go to the church, you want to go to funeral, and all those things. If you are living in the West, those are the realities. If you are 60 and over, you may need somebody to help you do that. Are you going to be able to afford it? And remember, your family are not going to be living next door, so you may need. Let's have a chat. Let's have a chat. I'm not by any means saying if you haven't made that decision, you are wrong. But maybe it's not too late. There are options available for you. You can choose to stay. You can choose to go. You can be doing okay in your house because you haven't got the family, or you don't want the family, or that is what you want to choose. On the other hand, what about exploring how things could be different if you were back home? And the reason why somebody may not be able to go is because they never thought it as an option. So they never made an arrangement, and their only option could be returning to the family home, and that will not be what they want. People, let me know the reason why, at 60 and above, people are still waking up in the morning at early dawn to go and do, their hard grafting job. Go through the routine as if they are younger. I don't wish that for my older people. I think we all deserve better. And if I have the opportunity, maybe I'll say, let's have a talk. Let's have a think about it. And let me know what you think. People, if you've done it and it worked for you, let's hear it in the comment section. If you have not been able, or if you have been able to support your parent to do it and you think it's worked better for them, let me know. Okay? People, have a plan and let me know what your thoughts are in regards to retiring back home or retiring in the West, especially if you're a black person, because this is for you. People, my name is Nana SA. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Tell me what you liked about this video and if there's anything more that you want us to talk about. As I said, previous video we talked about speaking the truth about our people living back home and somewhat living a better life. People disagreed, but we had a good response. I have to respect that. But on the other hand, this is what we need to talk about today. Where would you want to retire? People, I'll see you in the next video. One love. Boom.